I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Jenna, if I can have you call roll.
Magistrate Humphrey,
Present.
Magistrate Coldine,
Present.
Magistrate Riley,
Present.
Judge Chuck Dills.
Present. Move down to item 3, approval of the regular meeting minutes for December 5th, 2022.
Having read the regular meeting minutes of December 5th, 2022, I make a motion to approve as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Codar and a second by Magistrate Humphrey. All in favor by show of hands. Appears all in favor, motion carries. Moving down to item 4, fiscal matters, we'll go to A, approval of the claims on the general fund, the road fund, and jail fund, along with all transfers presented dated December 20th, 2022.
Having reviewed the claims on the general fund, road fund, and jail fund, I'll make a motion to approve as printed, dated December the 20th, 2022.
I will.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Humphrey, second by Magistrate Riley. All in favor by show of hands. Appears all in favor, motion carries. We'll move on to item B. We have with us our county clerk, Tabitha Clemens, and I have a motion to present for review to approve Tabitha Clemens, Grant County Clerk's budget and annual order setting maximum amounts for deputies and assistants for 2023 in whole. And I'll turn the floor over to Tabitha.
If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to entertain those. The annual order has to be approved, obviously annually, in order for my office to start operation in January. This order is just stating that the salary and all the benefits that we offer to the deputy county clerks and any assistants that we would hire be approved in order for our budget to be operational.
Anyone have any questions for Tabitha? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the amendment to the 2022 budget from Tabitha Clemens for the Grant County Clerk in whole.
I'll second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Codar and a second by Magistrate Humphrey. All in favor, show of hands.
Did I
Appears
do
all-
C instead of B?
Yeah, I think
No,
so.
Do I have to do B first? I think I did C instead of B, Chuck, for Judge.
You approve the amendment?
Yeah, I approved the
Yeah,
amendment.
approve that.
Okay.
I need to go back and
Yeah,
approve.
do D.
Yeah. Again, I make a motion to approve Tabitha Clemens, Grant County Clerk's budget and the annual order setting maximum amounts for deputies and assistants for 2023 in whole.
I'll second.
Motion made by Magistrate Codar, and second by Magistrate Humphrey. All in favor by show of hands. Appears all in favor, motion carries for item B. Now we'll move down to C. I need a motion to approve amendment to 2022 budget, Tabitha Clemens, Grant County Clerk in whole. Anyone have any questions for Tabitha? And as you know, end of each calendar year, she normally has to make an amendment to make all revenues to account for. Is that correct, Tabitha?
That is correct. Yeah. Then we can apply for
Yeah.
the AUP audit.
Okay, on that, Tabitha,
Mhm.
is that 339? Was that the balance that's left?
So the balance as of the last reconciliation, which was the end of November, was 330,989. That's not what's remaining in the budget. So what happens is that's what has been written, or that's what is left. There's still outstanding checks, and they're not showing on here because the way that that works is once I have those zeroed all out, then it'll show up as zeros. The actual book balance on the day of this report, which was yesterday, after checks and things cleared was 251,797. That's with the collection of taxes that's happening right now. So every day there's still deposits going into our account daily for what we're collecting now. So the end of the year, what I'm projecting right now is looking closer for excess fees, if that's what we're getting to.
That's what she's
around
asking, Tabitha.
Yeah, I know. How much money am I going to give you?
Yeah, I'm doing this politely, Tabitha.
Yeah,
I know. You don't have to be polite. It's okay.
get to the point, Tabitha.
I'm projecting about $100,000, Shauna.
Okay,
There's a few variables there. We've
Sure.
seen some title clerks take off this time of year to be off with their families. So we're not seeing as much title work from the dealerships come in the last few
Sure.
days. That it just fluctuates. And honestly, we've been pretty slow the last couple days, even with customers, because people are preparing for Christmas, and apparently this Armageddon snowstorm that we're getting, they're more concerned about that than they are coming in and paying their tags. However, the 3 days that we're open in between Christmas and New Year are always busy. So it may go up a little bit more, but I would say somewhere, give or take a little bit, somewhere around $100,000 is probably where I'll end up.
good. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
You're
then
welcome.
Still have at some point to file the documentation for the grant and the reimbursement of the equipment for voting.
For voting, yes. So those funds have not been released yet. I don't know if they presented to you all, if State Board came and presented to judges and magistrates recently, but the funds are still going through some of the certification process for e-poll books, which we're going to have to make a decision about those come January. Currently, we're not allowed to talk to any vendors because all of the vendors that end up certified will be also going through the state procurement process to have a state bid contract price. So there won't be a lot of negotiation in regards to the price of the actual poll book. Those prices will be set at a state bid price. So we're waiting for that date to end. My understanding from talking to some folks at Revenue, that date is January 3rd. At that time, after that date, we could start talking to these vendors, because that process should be over at that point. In January, we'll see all of the electronic poll book vendors that are certified in the state of Kentucky to operate. We'll be at a county clerk's training for our new clerks that are coming into office, and a training for any existing county clerks as well. And hopefully I'll have a better idea of what that's going to look like financially for us. But we have not, I've submitted the first set of documents. Judge Dills and I signed those and sent those in some time ago, saying this is how much we're requesting. This is, what we're looking for, but we have not received any final word on when they're going to start releasing the $25 million. And when they're honestly, we kind of put them on the spot a little bit at our training about a week ago, and there still wasn't a definite this is when you'll see your check. It was just, well, when we get to the point, Rachel will cut the checks really quickly, but there's really not still any true time frame for us. So
Got it. Okay. Well, I just
it's not off my radar. I ask every chance I get. I ask about it.
Tabitha,
Okay.
do they really know how these poll books are going to look yet, as far as soft?
So there's still, Shauna, 10X, the company that was originally agreed upon with Secretary Grimes when she was in office, and the poll books we've been using the last few years, they still, my understanding is they are going through the certification process, as well as a company called No Ink, another company, ES&S, which is not they kind of go with the machines that ES&S provides. We don't have those machines. But a lot of them are similar in the fact that they all do the driver's license scan. All the ones that I have seen all do the driver's license scan. Some coordinate better with the print on demand system that we have versus writing things down. There's actually a scanner for some that you can just scan a barcode and it'll start printing it. So if you're at the print machine, you don't have to press a button anymore. You just use your barcode and scan it and it prints it. So a lot of it looks similar and does similar functions. They just kind of have different attributes. Some on the back end are a little bit better. So setting them up and making sure being able to proof the ballot styles for the voters is a little better on some than others. So we'll see. I don't have
Yeah.
anything set in my mind right now. I really want to see them all. And I'll be happy to send out, once I have the final dates and times, I'll be happy to send that out to all of you. It'll be in Lexington at the Griffin Gate. If you'd like to come down and look at them, I'd love to have you.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the amendment.
I'll make a motion to approve the amendment as printed.
I will second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Humphrey, a second by Magistrate Riley. All in favor by show of hands. Appears all in favor, motion carries. Tabitha, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving down to, and Colton has Brian, he's on now, isn't he? Item D is present for review and a motion to approve Brian Main's Grant County Sheriff's budget annual order setting maximum amounts for deputies and assistants for 2023. As all of y'all know, this is just a procedural mechanism. We approve his budget on a fiscal year, but the state is still requiring us to send in the his budget estimating at least a minimum of revenues and also some cap at least on the annual salaries, but that will all be set in June when we set the fiscal year budget for him. Does anyone have any questions for Brian on that?
I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to approve Brian Main's Grant County Sheriff's budget and the annual order setting maximum amounts of deputies and assistants for 2023.
I will second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Codar, a second by Magistrate Riley. All in favor by show of hands. It appears all is in favor, motion carries. Thank you, Brian. Moving down to item E, you all have an attachment with you. A motion to declare surplus on a 2019 Toyota van pursuant to KRS 670802 subsection 4 and F. You have the attachment in front of you. This is a van that has been used by our county clerk, Tabitha Clemens, and she has found a better vehicle that will actually help in many ways to transport the voter equipment. It's an SUV and it's also a vehicle she's welcomed for us to use. It has a third row seat in it if we need to go to training. So, and that was purchased prior to what she turns over to the fiscal court. Well, it was budgeted prior to, not spent yet. It won't be spent until after we approve.
Right. Not purchased, just accounted for.
Yes. So mainly wanted Shauna to know that money she was talking about, it's already came out of
It's
it.
not less this purchase.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
the
I made a
KRS
motion
that I
to
just recited is allowing her to trade in based off of appraised values, that van for this
Okay.
SUV that's under state bid contract with Bachman Chevrolet. So I entertain a motion.
Make a motion to
I'll go ahead.
Go ahead, Shauna.
make a motion to declare surplus on a 2019 Toyota Sienna pursuant to KRS 60.
I will second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Codar, a second by Magistrate Riley. All in favor by show of hands. It appears all in favor, motion carries. Tabitha, I think that's all we have for you. I appreciate it.
Thank you all. Merry Christmas.
You
Merry
Thank
Christmas
you.
to you.
We'll move down to item F. We're ending this term of mine, and I'm asking, well, actually, I just put this on the agenda. This is a reappointment of Colton Simpson, Deputy Judge Exec, to serve as a designee for me, Chuck Dills, Grant County Judge Exec, back on the Northern Kentucky District Board of Health, starting January 1, 2023, and expiring December 31st, 2026. This is appointment made by actually myself, but as you know, I always put it on our agenda and just ask the courts mainly their support more than their approval. So if I can have a motion to approve that.
I'll make a motion to approve the appointment of J. Colton Simpson to be the Deputy Judge Exec as printed.
I will
I
second.
second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Humphrey. I have 2 seconds. I'll give that second to Magistrate Riley. All in favor by show of hands? Appears all in favor, motion carried. Congratulations, Colton, and I appreciate you representing me on that board.
It's an honor. Thank you so much.
Moving down to item G, I have a motion to approve payments for House Bill 810 training for Sheriff Brian Maines. The Peggy, our county treasurer, has received a letter along with myself that Sheriff Brian Maines has completed his training. As we all know, that has to be approved by the fiscal court to make that payment.
I'd like to make a motion to honor and pay out for the House Bill training monies for Sheriff Maines as presented this evening on our agenda.
I second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Riley, a second by Magistrate Codar. All in favor by show of hands? Appears all in favor, motion carries. Brian, it appears you'll be receiving your training money that you earned. Moving down to item H, and this is the one I wish wasn't on the agenda, but I'm going to need a motion to approve the emergency bid, and you all have it in your packet, on Arnold's Creek Road water crossing, and approve myself, Judge Executive Chuck Dills, to sign any documents for funding with the Department of Transportation. Melissa has sent in all the documentation we believe that they're needing. At this point, I've been watching our emails once I was getting them back up to see if there's any additional documents they were needing, but we've sent out that all on to the state, and hopefully they'll approve as much funds as we can get to make this repair that's going to have to be made on the crossing that has been closed and will continue to be closed until we build a new bridge.
On that, Judge Dills, have we gotten an idea from Mr. Caudell on the amount that they're going to give?
No, we
Yeah.
do not. We've, Melissa sent in the request for emergency funds.
Yes.
And then, I mean, I'm just waiting to hear back from him. He talked like I would hear back from him before Christmas break.
So at this point, we really don't, we're just approving the maximum amount at this point, whether we're paying for it or the emergency fund is going to pay for it. Is that what we're?
That's
actually-
correct. Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to replace the bridge, so we're going to have to fund it. And then we're just hoping that anything we can get back from the state for reimbursement.
Right. And Shauna, don't forget, like, if it's not, I don't see why this bridge also wouldn't equally qualify for the 80/20, so the 80,000, because we've not utilized that fiscal year.
Mhm.
Although be it this is an emergency, I would naturally assume this we would get something, but
And I'm hoping, and this is sort of unique, and I mean, this is the first time in my term we've ran across this. This is not actually a bridge, but what we're replacing it back with will be a bridge. This is a low water crossing that's pretty good size, as you're all familiar with.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping that the 80/20, as Jacqueline has said, that we'll be able to utilize that funds along with maybe even emergency funds, being the fact I sent in the photographs where the bridge has deteriorated. I mean, basically overnight. I mean, that happened quickly and has got worse. So, which is the reason, for safety reasons, I had to declare an emergency on an executive order and close it down.
Yep.
Judge Deals, on that same topic there, I think we need to also put in there somewhere or somehow, whoever does this, they got to get rid of all the old concrete that was left there that's there now. I mean, when they put that water crossing in, they cut out old concrete and just piled it up in the creek, and that's causing problems there as well for flooding and erosion. So I don't know if we can include that in this money or not, but we got to get rid of that old concrete. It really looks bad and it's a hazard.
Well, one way, and I'll check with Steve Tatum on, usually they remove the existing and so on, but let me talk to him one way or another. If we remove it ourselves or they remove it, I'm with you on it. I was down there just recently. I've been down there a couple of times in the last couple of weeks. While I was down there, I recognize what you're talking about. While they've putting in the bridge and we take that out is when we'll get all that removed out of there.
Yeah, because it's causing more erosion along the banks. When water hits it, it's diverting it towards the banks. And besides that, it's just an eyesore as well. It should have been done when they constructed that 25 years ago.
Well, and the thing is, the width of that creek area right there, it's not, I don't think financially feasible to put back in a crossing. And that road is getting used because of growth a lot more than before. At least if we go with a bridge similar, well, it is, I think, just like what was put on Heathen Ridge. Steel
Yes.
type bridge with the grate underneath where water will pass through underneath of it, but it actually be elevated at a higher level because they'll be taking it up the road a little bit as they're straightening out that area. So
Good.
not only is it a replacement, it's going to be a great improvement for that area of the road.
Oh, absolutely.
Judge Dills, one thing, when the state responds back to your application for emergency funding, should they catch it? I think they're going to tell us that we have to use the 80/20 money first.
They've already told me that.
Okay. And then I would say, considering the economic times and where we're at with the inflation, I would then say, fine, but we're asking to combine it because of the cost of this project. The fact that we haven't used, that annual monies that were awarded. I don't know if that requires an executive order at the state level, but I think they have got to come to grips to reality that $80,000 a year isn't hardly anything to replace bridges, which is why folks probably aren't even applying for them annually to begin with.
Well, the 80/20 money is similar to the discretionary money and flex money, that it has to be utilized first before you can even tap into emergency funds.
Right.
So, and that was my conversation with Mr. Caudell, is that, of utilizing that 80/20 money and then trying to see what we can get on the emergency funds. And you're right, the cost of this bridge, and Ron English Foundation is the one that bid on it. He's approved by the state under state bid. He's as competitive as anybody, and he's probably one of the few in our region that we can even utilize for it. And him, and only one time, I believe, in the last 4 years, we used the company that received a bid from Tennessee area. But he's close, and like I said, he's approved by the state. But yeah, the cost has went up. I'm not going to say double, but it's went up. It's probably $100,000 more than it was a few years ago.
Yeah, definitely.
And well, so which is why I hope we can influence the state to ask them to combine both of those pools. So let's hope. I mean, they've got to modify that, and we need to get with like the transportation cabinet and whoever's on the state committees, Frankfurt, on this, because we've sat back for a few years and watched it, and it's just not beneficial to us, and it's actually saving them money because no counties are applying for it annually because
No,
they can't.
no, you can't build a bridge for $80,000.
No,
I mean, we can't even probably repair that crossing for $80,000.
no, no way.
Mm-mm.
So, and he basically told me once they received the paperwork, he would pull up our bridge funds and also look at the avenue on the emergency funds with us. So
Okay.
I'm
Okay,
hoping,
so
I'm hoping before Friday that I'm getting some response back from him. And Craig's very quick on getting back. So
So you're looking for I make a motion to declare the Arnold's Creek water bridge crossing an emergency, correct?
no, I've already declared it under executive order as an emergency. I'm asking for approval that we proceed on with the emergency bid that we received from Ron English Foundations. And then the second part of it is allow me to sign any contracts or paperwork on any funding from the state on this project.
Okay.
Mr. English give you any kind of idea of when he could even start on something like this?
Well, it's all going to depend on the weather. I mean, he works in the winter time, so they can start building it in the winter. After we get this approved, he'll go on and get the materials ordered. The
Okay.
bridge, I believe, comes from, what is it, H&H Bridge out of Indiana. I think
Indiana,
that's who manufactures that bridge. And we have several of those bridges in the county. So, and that's the one, same company, I believe we just put the bridge on in Shady Lane.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, I make a motion this evening to approve the bid that we have received from Ron English Foundations. In addition to that, as we move forward, authorizing Judge Dills to sign any necessary documentation to move the project forward, considering the state of emergency that's been declared for Arnold's Creek water crossing.
I'll second that.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Riley, a second by Magistrate Humphrey. Show of hands in favor. It appears all in favor. Motion carries. Thank you all. And hopefully we can get this moving fairly quickly and hopefully we can get as much reimbursed.
Yeah, hustling to get the necessary documentation and
I have any old business to report on. And what I'll do is the first of the year, we'll discuss where we met with our Constable Michael Knighty, reference his request. So everybody look over that during the holidays, and then I'll bring that back up in January to have a continued discussion on. New business, I don't appear anything to report on. Getting down to report, judge's report, I'll just report on a couple of the projects that's going on in the county. The road department's getting all their V boxes in. I've spoke with Steve Tatum several times this week, reference our salt. I mean, we have plenty of salt as of right now to get us through this bad storm before we have to order any more. As far as building, they are working on outside the courtroom, the front lobby and those front offices area. He should be done with it, if not tomorrow, by Thursday with the drop ceiling. And our maintenance personnel has got the new LED lighting up and it's coming together real nice, looking good. Also on the structure that's over at the animal shelter, if you notice, and I apologize, on the 11th hour, that second claim for the second of the 3 draws on the new construction of the building at the animal shelter. But I spoke to Josh Blackburn, who received the bid. They're pouring the floor tomorrow, and he's hoping to have it, I believe, framed up under roof by the end of next week. And I just didn't want to hold him on getting his check until our next court meeting in January. So I'm going to go on and approve it. We'll hold the check until that work's done for that second part. Other than that, I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and safe holidays. And that's all I have to report on it. Magistrates, Jacqueline, anything to report on?
I just wanted to quickly acknowledge to the constituents in the Corinth district with the Delaney Blanchard Connector Road officially open and the Delaney Bridge officially closed by the state, the oldest wooden bridge that we've had in the community officially closed. We recognize and are acknowledging that the resurfacing of Blanchard is not going to happen, before Christmas holiday, considering the weather. And that I just want to make sure that those constituents, as they continue to reach out, Mr. Tatum and the road crew is aware of the condition of Brock, of Delaney, of Blanchett, and even Mason Cordova, and that ask for those folks to give us some grace and some time until springtime comes for when we can resurface that area, because it is extremely rough because of the construction that's happened over the past several months. And as we are aware, we've been at the mercy of them completing that connector road, of which, they just completed, roughly 3-ish weeks ago. And weather is not on our side, for Rigler to complete the resurfacing of Blanchett Road. And I continue on a weekly basis to get phone calls and texts just due to the condition. And we're aware, and they will complete patching. But the reality is we're probably a good 4-ish plus months away of any resurfacing happening out there. And I've told them, that the court is aware. We've got monies, safeguarded because that respective road, Blanchett, was to be resurfaced. But we also knew that if we did 6 months ago, it would be tore up. It would be a waste. And so they've at least appreciated that, us being, to use common sense to not have resurfaced it. But that's just the main thing from a communication standpoint to acknowledge. Yes, we know the condition. Yes, we will do our best to keep it maintained. And yes, we'll be out there in the springtime.
Okay. Shauna, anything you have to add tonight?
No, I don't really have anything to add. Just wishing everyone a safe and happy holiday, and hopefully the snow won't be as bad as they're saying.
Hope not. I'll be
Roger, anything to add?
Nothing to report.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Deal.
Unmuted earlier. Just wanted to tell you
Sheriff?
all thank
There you are. There you
Yeah.
are.
Anything to add, Sheriff?
No, does the undersheriff have anything to add?
Hey.
Oh, hi.
Hey, look at that pretty little girl behind him.
Yeah, she kept trying to get in the camera.
Well, we tell her we saw her.
We would rather deal with her.
That's right.
Beauty.
Colton, is anyone on from the public? Okay. Doesn't appear anyone's on to speak. I'll remind everyone, our next meeting is going to be Wednesday, January 4th, 2023. And that's due to the way the holidays fell with us off on Monday, to give Jenna especially and the rest of us time to get everything in order for our next meeting.
What date
So-
said, Judge?
Huh?
What date is that again?
Wednesday.
January the 4th.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll be meeting on Wednesday. That will be in person, 6:30 p.m. for that meeting at the courthouse. And then at that meeting, we'll make a decision on how we'll do our meetings going forward.
Awesome.
Okay?
Okay.
Need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
A second.
Motion made by Magistrate Riley, second by Magistrate Codar. All in favor by show of hands. Presley, are you in favor? Raise your hand. If there's all in favor, motion carries. We're now adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Merry
Aye.
Bye-bye.